Hello again, my happy quilters. My name is Marcia and this is Joy, and we are here at Pine Needles Quilt and Sew in Rochester, Minnesota, and we have number 10, right? Already
yes, number
10 of the Chatsworth Block of the Month. So you all should have your books by now, and if you're watching this and you want to have a book or get in on this, there's still plenty of time. There will be a link below that you can click on to check out how to buy all of the things, the kits that we have, and also this book as well. So we're going to talk about making block 10. And like I said the last couple of times, we in the beginning we talked all about our different cutting methods. So we're using 3 different cutting methods: the traditional method as it is listed in the book, and then we're also doing it with rulers, and I use the rulers with a little bit of yardage and also jelly rolls, because you can cut most of this from a jelly roll. And then Joy also used the AccuQuilt system. The little tiny one is what you can use in an 8-inch cube, and it will cut everything you need.
That's right.
It's except when we get to the flying geese.
Until you get to the end.
But we'll talk about that later, the finishing part. Okay, so on block number 10, this top one here, I have cut using the traditional piecing methods as listed by Doug in the book. So it's where you cut the squares and then you cut them on the diagonal and everything else. You can see in some of the first videos that we did, it's all the instructions of how to do that. We're not going to cover that anymore because it's just the same thing all the time. And then this is the one that I use the jelly roll with and the rulers. So you choose, check them all out, and do what's best for you. And then Joy has used the AccuQuilt system for those of you that have a hard time with arthritis, or it's super simple and easy and fast. So she's going to talk to you now about cutting with the AccuQuilt system, and then also block construction for this block number 10.
All right. So the AccuQuilt, Marcia mentioned, I use the Go Me. At home, I actually do have the electric, the Go Big, because it's just a tiny little push and it's through, and there's absolutely no stress on any of your joints. However, here, using the little one is convenient. The block this time, 10, is going to use die number 2. It's going to use die number 5 and die number 7. Now these make it super fast and easy to cut these out. And my Christmas block for this one, I chose all the greens going on. And this one is kind of it's made up of all the same shapes that we have been doing, except we added a square in the corner to make it a little bit more interesting. And the 2 rock stars in this die is the parallelogram again. Yep, so let's go here. So we have the parallelogram, and we showed this last time too, that when you put these on here, be sure that you are using the side that fits, because you'll notice that it can't go on the end here because it's too long. So again, one side's going to line up nicely with the square point, and then you're going to see the little 1/4 inch divot here. It doesn't really matter how you sew these, but I would strongly recommend that these are not pressed. You're just going to let them be, because when you put them in the block, how they are placed with the others determines the ironing of the seams for this. The other unit in here are these half square triangles, and my process always is, but of course you can do it however you want, is I sew with a light on top because it's easier to look at, and I always sew them in a chain so that you are coming from one piece to another. I stop with needle down here and then continue down, and that makes for a really nice, perfect 1/4 inch seam on those half square triangles. Now I put a pin here, and you probably can't see it on camera, But when you go to put your two pieces together, the critical point on this block is where these two pieces join. And what I want you to be aware of, and I should have used darker thread this time, Marcia, that as you approach this seam intersection with the parallelogram, you want to make sure you pause right ahead of here so that you can make sure that the seam underneath is going up and this is going down. It doesn't matter which you have on top, but that will help reduce the bulk in this area, and you want to just make sure that it meets at those points. So that is that little key. And I'm going to turn this way because, again, when you put these together, it's going to be the right side to the left side, and you want to watch these points as you go. And I didn't get mine pressed all the way open, but my seam allowance is there. And then the two pieces together. Again, there's a lot of bulk in this area, so take a moment, pause when you approach this piece right here so that you can make any final adjustments before you sew over that seam. Now, another tip that one of our fellow peeps here has taught us is if you really want to make sure that this matches, you could always start one stitch before that meeting point and sew out, and reverse it and go the other. That level of perfection is completely up to all of you, but just take your time as you approach your seams. Make sure that they nest and line up as well as they can. And like I said, the real key is pause just ahead of that intersection. Lift up your presser foot. Make sure all those seams are laying nice and flat, so when you sew over the top of them, there's no extra bunching going on.
Absolutely.
And
this is a really fun block.
It is a really fun block. I think it's one of my favorites.
So
that's block 10.
That is block 10. And so there's still time to join us. We still have some kits left. There's a link below that you can press on to see. It goes to a landing page of our Chatsworth block of the month, and you can check that out if you want to join us, if you need the book. And you can, all of these videos are also on YouTube, so you can go there and check out everything. And gosh, 10 of the Chatsworth blocks of the month are up there.
2 left to go,
Just
Marcia.
2 left to go, and then a finishing thing too. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us today on this Tuesday. I have a hard time when we're not doing live, so the bloopers stay in.
Right.
So I'm Marcia, and this is Joy, and we're here at Pine Needles Quilt and Sew in Rochester, Minnesota. Thank you so much for joining us on this Chatsworth journey, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much.